Maybe I think it was probably when Batman 89 came out, that I realized that suddenly posters were better than toys, because posters were a larger and more accurate representation of the stuff I was into. I always had that dull ache from the Kenner Ghostbuster toys, the real Ghostbuster toys, because they looked nothing like the movie Ghostbuster accessories. But posters were like, because I didn't play with my toys, I displayed them. So it just worked out that posters, you don't play with posters, you display them. So it was just tailor-made for me. And so yeah, since 1989, from that point on, toys started to get pushed into the background, and I just wanted these large, glossy photographs instead. And so my walls were always plastered with posters, but I did hate hanging them because I hated puncturing them with thumbtacks. I don't know if I just wanted to get to a certain age, and suddenly I had some money of my own that I realized I could put them in frames. Better preserving them and not damaging them in any way. Or damaging the walls as much. But that is an expensive endeavor, and wherever I'm at my life, I only have so much space. So some things are still waiting in the wings. So let's look at those. Let's look at some shit. I don't know if this counts. I think it does. I mean, it's displayed, but it needs a frame. It's still in the plastic that I bought it in, which looks like garbage, but
well, it protects it from the elements.
And it keeps it visible, but it needs to be flat and framed in plastic. We gotta go in the closet. This is a sad existence for these. Okay. There's some. All right. Start with some newer ones first, I guess. We bothered. We'll show them all, I guess.
Yeah.
Pinups. We're lacking in pinups. I don't know how that we have too many left. This came with the Blu-ray of the same name. In Search of Darkness, a journey into iconic 80s horror. Not that good of a movie.
Yeah, I didn't like the weird guy.
The guy, the blogger that they interviewed amongst. Well, there's many interviews, but he
annoying.
He ruined the whole thing. But that aside, there was nothing to be learned from it. If you've never seen anything or never heard anything of Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, then this is the movie for you. This is wrapped. Should I open it?
I don't know. That's up to you, I guess. I mean, have you seen it? Did you get this at the comic book store?
I got this at Faces in Northampton, Massachusetts. I never planned on framing it. I thought it would make just a good piece of wallpaper for some corner, which has always been a fantasy of mine, but I've never really engaged in it. This is just a Ralph Steadman print.
Cool. I like it. I don't even remember you buying that.
Because it was like $6, and like I said, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I'm just like, can I just have this to have it around? This is going back some, because I bought this at Suncoast video store. What the hell was it called?
Suncoast.
Suncoast something. Suncoast. They sold movies. They sold VHS tapes, and I don't know if they made it to the DVD era, but
They did. When I worked there, they were
still
selling
have?
DVDs. Yep.
But they sold other stuff too, and that was more interesting to me because their videos were priced outrageously. And I bought this long before I actually ever saw this version of it. But I was so into the Universal monsters at that time because that's when Dracula and Frankenstein and Wolf and Memoirs of an Invisible Man all came out, like, one right after the other. And I was just getting into horror so heavily at that point. And it's a nice looking poster. Those are some good colors. Tube of Mystery. Whoa. Oh, I see what's going on here. This is a very special tube. Look at that flat stomach, huh? I need a belt like this. And it wasn't that great of a poster. I put it on the back of my door, my bedroom door. That was always reserved for, like, I should have this, but I don't really care. These, on the other hand, we found wrapped, sealed, never opened from a flea market. I had to open them just to see what they were about. And I really should be careful with this because I've stumbled upon the ones from this era on eBay, and they're up there.
Really?
Yes. Understandably so, especially in mint condition. I mean, this is obviously never hung. I don't know what's going on with her thumb here. What is this graphic? Do you see this Photoshop in here?
Yeah.
What is going on here? This picture was cut out of something else, and they turned it into a poster. Anyway, so it was clearly from the Oops era.
Too many textures on this poster.
She was a textural girl, but not yet a textual woman. running out of film here. They're hip. They're happening. They are turtles. Kmart everywhere. The irony now is that Kmart is not everywhere. So I found one more of these on eBay recently, and it's close to 100, I think. But we're not here to talk about value, or at least monetary value. I love it though. I mean, I had the Raphael poster that they released, but this one with the old Kmart logo on it and this weird sort of door shape, I would definitely like to have that behind glass, or plexiglass anyway. You got me this. Anyone who's looked at the various pictures of the stuff we've posted from stuff on our walls knows we have To the Limit, starring Anna Nicole Smith, which was... It's okay. I watched it, I liked it, but it was not my favorite, and it was not as good as Skyscraper. Because Skyscraper was 86 floors of action-packed terror. You need a building, you need fire and a helicopter, a gun, and ample lips with the breasts to match. So this tube is full of treasure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have this little bit of plastic here. If you don't have little bubble wrap plastic, you can always stuff some paper towels in there, anything like that, so the edges don't get dinged. This is actually not mine. Mine is long gone. But I had this, and so I eventually rebought it. And it was so impossible to rebuy because this is a tough thing to search for.
That's badass.
There are so many attractive things about this movie, but the main one was this was represented here was the makeup effects and the transformation hook in the movie. And somebody, it's not the most, composition wise, it's not brilliant, and I knew that even when I was little, but it just represented kind of the main thing I liked about the movie was this sort of collage of characters that he played. I was just so fascinated by it. I mean, look how many just eye contacts there are in this poster.
Yeah.
And this tagline, this spooky tagline. I mean, this movie had it's so weird the way this movie was marketed. It was marketed to kids. It was marketed to kids my age, which is so strange. And this is just a perfect example of it because they had posters in the slots, the way Batman and Jurassic Park did, like collect them all. And so I did, and anything Dracula related I had. But when I came across this one, I'm like, well, this one was, they made this one for me. But speaking of posters made for me, I can't tell you, this was mine. You can tell by, it has 40 million thumbtack holes. And nicotine stained. Even when, however old I was, how old was I, 7? I knew that, gosh, I wish they would make posters for this movie, but I know they're not going to because it's not animated or, whatever they made posters for kids around that time. I didn't find it on my own. My parents found it, and they put it on my bed, spread out like this, like it is now. And coaxed me into my room and said, "Hey, Paul, what's this on your bed?" I don't know the way to talk about it. I came in and I saw this beautifully contrasted image of Edward on a white background with this logo that just suddenly became like the biggest pornography in my life. And I just, even looking at it now, it still feels like a dream. Like, really? They made a poster of this movie that you could buy in the store? I mean, that seems obvious now because you walk into a Hot Topic and you can see his face on 40 different shirts. But then when it came out, because no one was talking about it, because people are only talking about Home Alone, because it was out up against that they made a poster out of it, I was like, I became religious in that moment. Like, I was grateful to the world and the universe that they allowed this to happen. Does that make sense? Catch the wave. Beef. That was in a nice, like, red, solid red, bright red frame, candy apple red. That looked good. This would probably be a carnival poster. It's the correct size and it's the correct subject matter. So you this is a poster that you'd get if you popped 3 balloons with darts or blew up a balloon with water growing out of a clown's head. And these would come in they would come in frames. Cheap-ass frames, gold, with those gold frames.
Yeah, I got you. Didn't I get you? Oh, I got you a mirror.
There's carnival mirrors. That's a whole other subgenre. But they were garbage, and you couldn't hang them because you'd have to like stand them up against something because the whole back was just cardboard, and you try to hang a nail on that, it would just rip right through. This is compromise. This was part of the bigger poster. which had the, the title and the credits and the blue around it. But it was just a reprint, and I didn't need all that shit. So I cut this out in, what is this, 16 by 20 probably. Put it in a 16 by 20 frame. It looks really nice. If you put it in a frame by itself, it looks like just a David Lynch photograph with all that other nonsense around it. Very, very rare occasions that I would mangle a poster. But like I said, this was just...
It wasn't an original.
Not an original, just pulled out of the store somewhere. I think at that point I'd actually had a David Lynch photograph print, autographed and numbered. So I was like, this $1.99 Blue Velvet poster really doesn't have the same amount of herbs and spices as that does. Could be a bedspread. I can't imagine getting it framed.
Oh yeah, that'd be expensive.
But I wouldn't be against it.
No. It would look cool in a frame.
I don't know that there are any living quarters in my immediate future that would hold something of this girth. But like everything, all the shit we look at, I'm happy to know that we have it.
Yeah. It's ours. It's not in someone else's. This is newly acquired.
You don't say.
Well, you had mentioned the poster. You showed me the poster, and we talked about the poster. I don't recall you telling me you were going to buy the poster.
Happy Mother's Day.
So thank you. It's incredible to me that posters for film could be a piece of art, like a beautiful piece of art, like the poster for Lolita is a piece of art. And it's something that should be treasured and put on everybody's walls the same way a print of Van Gogh or Picasso should be on people's walls. This is a piece of art. This summer, kids rule. No parents, no counselors, no rules. Camp nowhere. I'd like to point out that this is a children's movie. I don't think anybody in this film is over the age of, would you say, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple of them that are maybe 14, but throughout this poster there are several large-breasted young women amongst these younger children. Some raunchiness up here. I don't know what's happening up here. Is she riding a chimney? What is that?
Yeah, you are correct. I see a Super Soaker plug here. 10 ratings of 10.
Yeah.
Look at these tits.
These colors are incredible. Yeah, they don't make posters like this anymore. Happy Mother's Day indeed.